TheOAMNetwork.com.
Power to the podcast.
Millennials a lit ass podcast. Yeah. The Liddy Committee. Liddy Committee. Yes, sir. Yo, thank you for tuning in. Episode 7, Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast. Before we get started, first of all, we want to thank once again 1,000. I think we're at 1.2 thousand plus downloads.
Yes.
So thank you all for continuing to support Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast, and everybody that's bought a shirt. Like we got a lot of shipping to do.
Thank you.
And so, definitely thank you for supporting us. Make sure you search us on Facebook, Dear Millennials, on Instagram at Dear Millennials _. Another shout out to our listeners. We now have 500 active followers.
Over 500.
Yes, over 500.
Over 500.
Active followers on Instagram. So thank y'all for liking, sharing, responding to the polls. Make sure you check out the Thirst Trap Tuesdays and all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter at DMillennialsPod. All right, search us on YouTube, Dear Millennials Podcast. You can find Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, any booking, sponsorship, donations, inquiries. Make sure you reach out to us via email. Dear Millennials Podcast at gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7, Sex in the City. Find out why. Make sure you stay tuned in. I am Marvin Frank, singer, songwriter, educator, student to the game, homie, lover, friend.
He's so smooth.
R. Kelly is free, y'all. I'm just kidding. I just like to make the people. Gotta say something provocative. It keeps the people going.
Okay.
South Memphis stand-up. It's your boy, Mac Lovin. Got these chicks straight out the oven. Educator, motivator, dark skin, drinking hen, teaching, preaching, got your girl dying, laughing, calling me the Grim Reaper.
It is Mary Jane, Georgia raised, Memphis paid, book club creator, the woman storyteller, and your favorite around the way girl.
Everyone, you already know who it is. It's your girl, OPP, a.k.a. South Memphis Queen, also known as the Memphis Finest.
Come on, Thee, y'all. And shout out to Gil. What's up, Gil? How you doing? Shout out to Gil, owner of OAM Network. This is where we're recording and getting our show produced here at Crosstown Concourse in Memphis, Tennessee. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning us. Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. You already know how we get it rocking. We go straight into it. These are the rules you need to live by, better known as the 10 DM Commandments.
Y'all know what it is, man. First commandment, and always will be first, thou shalt not support Trump. No.
Don't support Trump.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
In the words of Rosa Parks, nah.
No.
Number 2, thou shalt salute the king, homie.
Yeah.
Hey.
T.I. was honored. I don't know if y'all know, but T.I. was honored by Georgia State Senate for his positive impact on the community. So shout out to T.I., man. Always holding people accountable. I love seeing especially celebrities use their platforms, for the betterment of the community and enlightening folks. So I love it. Keep it up, T.I.
All right, commandment number 3, thou shalt level up and forget what a hater gotta say. Level up.
Yeah, level up. Forget Sierra. What a hater gotta see. Oh, yeah. Sierra. Yeah. So, like, Sierra, everybody was, like, throwing all this shade when she left Future. How could you leave Future? How could she not leave Future?
Right.
And what I was scrolling on Instagram, I saw this picture her Russell Westbrook took with Michelle Obama. So, it's like, to see her come from, what many would call an R&B diva or somebody who's, kind of time has passed as an A-list, recording artist or whatever. She's leveled up.
Incoming from a Bow Wow. She has.
Oh, yeah. From Bow Wow.
Leveled up. I mean,
And 50 Cent.
You said.
Did she really date 50?
and she
Yes.
dated a lot of.
50 was kind of old for her, though, wasn't it?
Right.
You do know you
Tragic.
said Russell Westbrook.
Oh, I meant Russell Wilson. My bad.
I was like, wait a
My
minute.
bad.
When they leave?
Forgot.
Thou shall support us, the movie. All right, which brought in $72 million in its first week. Y'all get McLovin in order, please. All right. I hope y'all went out to see us. Improper Influences is actually seeing it this weekend. I cannot wait. We a little behind.
Can I go with y'all?
I already told you you're invited.
Okay, great. Number 5, thou shalt not receive sympathy if you shit on other people for a living.
Yeah, you can receive something. So, first of all, we want to say this. All right, we want to send love to Wendy Williams, who was recently in the news for relapsing after allegedly finding out that her husband's alleged mistress has recently given birth to a baby. So they found her drunk, passed out after she had, I think she left her sober house. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Don't do it look like
Stop.
Only you do it. Nah. But it's kind of I don't know. I'm conflicted. It's man, I want to feel sorry for Wendy and her situation, but it's you shit on people for a living.
Okay.
Your whole platform is centered around shitting on people.
But that could be why she's so depressed.
Right.
She's
What's
focused on
Hey, look at that.
For those of you all who are just simply listening, at Crosstown we have a big glass window space, and a lot of people are basically behind us, waving at us. For those of you who are just listening and wondering what we doing.
But yeah. So anyway, you don't get sympathy if you shit on people for a living. However, I'm still pray for you, but it is what it
Right.
is. Moving forward.
All right, commandment number 6. Thou shalt not CMB.
Make it drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. CMB, make it drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Wobbly.
Yo, shout out. It was recently announced that there's a making of a Manny Fresh and Lil Wayne
yes.
collaboration.
Yes.
And I believe Manny Fresh said, and I quote, is what the people want to hear.
It is. This
Right.
is true. This is true.
This is true.
Shout out to one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Say what? Say what? What?
Anyway, we ain't gonna.
that booty
Okay.
Can't pay money.
Can't pay, man, them mother doing
Cause
the
I-
first.
Money spent.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ain't got no job, but I stay fly.
All right, y'all. Okay.
Real talk though.
We need to put our own little mix of that. We
We
got
do.
good. All right, number 7. Thou shalt Beyonce your haters.
Beyonce, all your haters, y'all. For my gospel folks, all right, I'm sure you heard about Kimberell in the news getting on stage. I don't know if she was performing, but anyway, she used her platform to basically say she was praying for Leandria Johnson. If you don't know who that is, Sunday's Best winner, Grammy Award winning gospel singer who's been battling with alcoholism. She actually has an episode with where Ayana Van Zandt is helping her with her healing. Anyway, Kimberell gets on stage and say, we praying for you, and then she shits on Fantasia and comparing their voices. So, you know what I'm saying? I haven't heard a response from Fantasia. But yeah, silence your haters.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to respond to everything.
You don't.
Some folks
You
just
don't.
have nothing else to do with their lives.
That's true. So, yeah. But, yeah, so, yeah.
All right,
Beyonce, your haters.
Commandment number 8. Thou shalt not loan what you need back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson.
Hey, that's real, though.
And then we get mad when somebody really doesn't give it to us.
Right.
Or give it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If your goal is to expect it back, don't give it out.
Don't give it out.
Don't give it out. Number 9, thou shalt not Mike Jones
Who?
me. Mike Jones. Mike Jones.
Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me.
The glow up, going back to reference to episode 1 of the whole phase, when you get that glow up, man, that's something serious, man. So don't want me now because I'm fly.
Don't want you when you're a hoe?
That too. If you don't want me while my whole phase, I don't want you when I'm cleaned up, okay? Because then I don't know if you ride for me.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Don't diss me, then try to kiss me.
Right.
Right.
Okay. DM number 10. Thou shalt always stay true to the game.
Stay true to the game.
Stay true.
I don't know if y'all heard. So, like, it's come out that Michael Jordan turned down $1 million deal, but I think it was in reference to something that something he was that was proposed to him years ago. But anyway, he didn't accept the endorsement because he didn't want to say Beanie Weenie.
Hey, you gotta stay gangster.
Hold up. Beanie Weenie used to be my favorite meal every day when I came home.
Oh,
Y'all
really?
ever had the baked beans?
Baked
Baked jeans, yeah. Baked beans with the hot dogs cut up in them. Oh my gosh, these
Right.
were so good.
We ain't had that.
So it was good though.
We had the beans, then we cut up our own hot dogs.
That's what I was
it.
going to
It
say.
didn't-
I didn't know it was an actual
No,
dish.
you make it. That
Yeah,
way.
that's what I was going to say.
yeah.
I got some vegetarian beans and some chopped up hot dogs. I didn't
You
know.
so woke.
We called it Beanie Weenies.
Vegetarian
So
beans.
Oh, to Jordan Peele. He recently went public. You know, like he's been receiving a lot of criticism for, and as we mentioned, like Us has been doing really well in the box office. But people have been criticizing him for having an all-black cast. So he publicly said, you know, like I will never cast a white man as my lead role. Which, I mean, I don't really feel
nothing wrong
like
with that.
there was anything wrong with that. And I mean, you know, though like Jordan Peele is one of the leading directors and producers of our time, you know, I mean, he's not Spielberg status yet, you know.
Right, that's
So,
what I'm
you
saying.
know,
Steven.
and he has his own lane and own, you know,
Man, let him
Yes,
do
that's
him,
all
man.
lane.
lane of
course.
movies. So anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, let's end it off with a fact check, please.
Those are the facts.
All right.
Yes.
Those are the facts. Those are
are
rules
the
and
facts.
commandments you need to live by here in 2019. All right, y'all, moving forward, it's time for our quickies. It's time to get a little quick snippet of some trending news going on, maybe some news that you may have not heard. So can we get a real sexy...
Damn.
All right.
Lick the butt. Lick the butt.
All right, you guys. A New Jersey man is basking in $273 million thanks to a Good Samaritan. Mike Worski is the winner of the New Jersey lottery and said that it wouldn't be possible without the work of a Good Samaritan. Worski had purchased his lottery ticket and misplaced it. Worski had purchased some lottery tickets from his local grocery store and admitted that he got distracted because he was on a phone call with his wife and left the lottery tickets at the store. So as soon as he found out that he had left the lottery tickets, he feverishly went back to the store and saw that somebody had picked it up.
Hey, man.
Somebody had picked up his
Don't let your
$273
wife
million
distract you.
Oh.
lottery ticket.
I know he
divorce
went
right
home
there.
mad.
Exactly. So he rushed back he called the supermarket, and then the cashier said, "You are lucky. Somebody just turned this ticket in 5 minutes ago."
Wow.
And you know there are going to be extreme blessings coming from the person that turned that in.
Right.
Like that. So there are some good people in the world.
It
dog.
is
That's
$273
I don't know if I can be that
Or maybe they didn't know that it was the winning ticket.
okay. That's true.
'Cause let's be,
That's true. I'm
Right.
trying to be optimistic.
hey,
Right,
look,
so-
call it what you want. Yeah, blessings or I felt like me finding that damn ticket
Was
was
a
a blessing.
That's wild.
It is.
Wait, I'm still stuck on the fact that he was talking to his wife.
He was talking to his wife on the cell phone about something,
called
whatever.
him?
Yes, and he got distracted.
That
and
lets you
left
know
the
women
ticket.
are distracted.
Stop. No. Let's
and women
stop.
help you find things.
Yeah.
too,
She didn't help me find
She
that.
didn't help me find that.
She helped me lose it.
Right.
Women make us lose.
Well,
it.
Okay.
they got their $273 million. Speaking of money, Google and Facebook was finessed out of $100 million this week.
Really?
Right, yes. Google and Facebook was finessed out of $100 million by a Lithuanian man by the name of Elvaldas Rasukas. Right. He had conspired together with other unidentified individuals to impersonate a Taiwanian company called Quanta Computers. El Valdez set up a fake account under the name of Quanta Computers, where he and his team worked together to create a master plan. He himself and his team created a fake company, fake accounts, fake invoices, fake contracts, fake letters, and even fake corporate stamps. The Doppelganger company had successfully bamboozled Google and Facebook into paying tens of millions of dollars in fraudulent bills. Wow. Valdez was later indicted this week on all charges where he pleaded guilty.
How long he got served?
I don't know. They didn't. It's updating. I'm just like, wow. How did you get Google and Facebook?
Yeah.
Google and Facebook.
Caught your boy Mark slipping, huh?
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, stop. We got to put this on Facebook. He ain't going to.
No. It's a joke. Come on. Mark.
Don't.
Come on, man.
I said Zuckerberg. Right.
Hey,
Zuckerberg.
you get finesse. Hey, we all take L's.
You took a large.
That's how you bounce back from it.
100.
Shit, I can't believe I just said that. We sure do got to put this on Facebook.
I hope you don't kick us off, y'all. But it's all right. It's just a joke. Come on, Mark. Some local news here. The city of Memphis is getting a new movie theater here in the downtown area. The brand new Malcolm movie theater is opening this week. The Powerhouse Cinema Grill will be located at 540 South Front Street between Main Street and Front Street. You can get more information at Fox 13 News, and it's supposed to be like a nice, really.
Are we
really
just
nice.
now getting a cinema grill?
Yes.
That's our first one?
Yes.
Oh my God.
What's a cinema grill?
about-
It's basically when they have this
Yes,
a
it
lot in
is.
Atlanta. They basically grill food. Like you have restaurant type of food, not popcorn,
Chicken
not
tenders?
nachos. Yeah,
But
stuff
it's
like
gonna
that.
be
Hamburgers,
overpriced.
fries. It is going to be a little pricey.
Right, but it's
actually,
all
I
right.
think it's just the food because I don't know what Memphis is about to do, but it really just depends.
I've
This is our
heard.
first one, though.
So I've heard
That's
different
crazy.
opinions because it hasn't been open for maybe a week.
It's about to open this week.
Oh,
It's opening this
Okay,
week.
did they host? Maybe they hosted some premieres.
Yeah, they probably did a
They
premiere.
did a few
Or some
premieres.
screenings.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did do that.
I've
but
heard some things.
Officially opening this week. It's a nice theater, and I went there just driving down there with me and my little sister, and I really, really, really like it. So y'all go see us downtown at the new Powerhouse Cinema Grill. It's real
Y'all
nice.
sure y'all want to
It's-
take me down there?
And just in case y'all are interested, like Dear Millennials Last Podcast, we are scheduling some movie outings.
Right. Yay. So come kick it with us.
Stay
Go
tuned
to
for
the
that.
movies.
We want to,
We gonna go to the movies together.
let's
y'all.
kick it. Let's chill, But yeah, all right. OPP, appreciate you.
Thank
Let's give them one more real sexy. That was our quickies.
Take the butt.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick rundown of
Stick my finger in the
news.
butt.
What?
Okay,
What the? All right.
Okay.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, the much anticipated Hood Code by your very own McLovin.
Hey, how are you? It is I, the priest McLovin, came to give you the Hood Code. Grab your Bibles and turn with me to Project Heathens 6:23.
Project.
Okay, let me go ahead.
When you
and
have
get
it, say, yeah, my nig.
Yeah, my nigga.
And it reads, Thou art from thy ye projects, if ye have the following: a candy lady,
that. Okay.
a freeze cup lady,
Okay.
a chip lady,
Yeah.
and old people calling sodas Cokes.
Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, McLovin, giving you the Hood Code of the streets. Thanks for listening.
And that was your Hood Code. Can we get a fact check for things you need to abide by in the hood?
And those are the facts.
That's real. You definitely need a freeze cup lady to be in a project. If you ain't got a freeze cup, then I can't fuck with your hood.
All right, y'all.
Wow.
So appreciate you, McLovin. Hood Code. Yeah, every hood does have a candy lady. All right, y'all. Now it is time for Living Single with Mary Jane. Say what? Say we're living.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh,
Single.
Ooh, in a
Nice kind of world.
guess what?
I'm
glad I got my.
Okay.
What?
Let's jump
That's
right in.
Okay, my bad.
I missed you all for sharing Living Single, so I'm so glad because actually I've been getting a lot of heat from the men about my approach around living single. So I do beat y'all up because it's real, all right? But I'm going to start off just getting on the men's side of things for a little bit. So I'm just going to start. I ain't going to finish that. I'm still going to tackle y'all asses.
Mary Jane.
All right. So I was speaking with a friend. All right. He took a mutual friend out on a date. It was a very nice date. This mutual friend of mine, the female, actually, she didn't really care too much for this guy, right? But she went on the date with him.
Okay.
He really liked the girl. After the date, she ignored him and blocked him. Have
Took
you all
his
ever?
money.
Yep. She went. She was just hungry. And after that, she ignored him and blocked him. Didn't even say, it was nice. Thank you for your time and taking me out, but I'm just not interested in you. See, I appreciate women when they just go ahead and let the guy know that you're not interested in him.
See, two things. And it goes back to, my thing is this. You can tell us you're interested, but don't show us differently. You know what I'm saying? Because women, that's just like rejection. You want us to accept rejection, but the way you giving it to us is like, you smiling and say, "No, I don't want to."
That's contradicting, huh?
Right. And in the same sense, it's like, yeah, you can tell us what you don't want, but then if you're going about it a different way, then she just wrong on all accords, man. If I find her, I'm
So have y'all ever experienced that where a woman just completely just dogged you after going out with you?
Yes. Maybe not Frank because,
So her motives were kind of
they love him.
Her motives were twisted. The girl's motives were twisted. She already knew she didn't like him.
Okay.
But she went out on this great date with him anyways. And then blocked his ass
Did he
afterward.
hit?
No.
You sure?
Nah,
No, well,
I will say, I think that's mad confusing. It's definitely happened to me before. Oftentimes, I find when that has happened, especially if I feel like, we had a great time, a lot of times, she might have some other things going on. For example, she may be attracted to you, she may like you, but because of whatever situation she's going through, you know what I'm saying, she may cut it off, or she was feeling you more than she expected to. But I guess
so she cut it off because she was trying to feel you in there.
Nah, for real. People's like, okay, I just want this to be casual. But then when they say, man, it's a really great person or whatever, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I know that, this person may deserve something more than I'm willing to offer at the time, So I think even myself, I've been in that position where I've done it.
You wasted somebody's time.
Yeah, we all been
Look
there.
at him laughing at he wastes somebody's time.
And y'all be calling
Really
him the
trifling.
angel.
Trifling.
But listen, this is why I'm bringing this up because it makes me question, it makes me consider people's motive when asking and accepting date offers. But it also, I got to get on the men. I got on the girls about doing this, but now I got to get on the men. On the opposite end, it makes me think, what about when men take you out just for the motive of having sex with you? Getting in them draws. Some men do that. They just gonna smile in your face, and then just try to.
Are you dating Asians? What are you doing?
And then next thing you know, your panties off. I'm just joking. My panties don't be off after one day.
She probably don't wear them.
Stop, y'all.
So my thing is this. First of all, what people don't understand, all men want sex. It's called an investment. We are taking you out. Because ain't no woman gonna want somebody who... Ain't no woman gonna give no pussy up for nobody who ain't taking them out, or at least giving them time, money, or something, or conversation. And that's real.
So y'all putting in the investment.
Investment. I'm gonna invest in this dick inside of you.
So
all right.
maybe
Okay.
Can I shout out? Oh, go ahead. Oh, you good? Go ahead.
I don't think you should go in dating anyone for any expectancy except for a good time.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't think you should expect anything especially on the first date. Was this the first date?
So it's sex. So having sex on the first date is a problem?
Are you expecting it?
I'm asking, is having sex...
Are you expecting it? You shouldn't go in expecting anything anywhere but except for a good time.
So the listeners out there, we want to also make a poll. So make sure that you follow us on Instagram. That's Dear Millennials _. Is it wrong for having sex on the first date or the first night you meet somebody?
I can't wait to hear you all's response.
I want to take it to a place real quick. I was, shout out to one of my OGs, Don. What's up? I won't say your government name, but you know who you are. Don. So, one of my big homies told me back in the day, he said, Frank, either way, as a man, you're going to pay for it. You're going to have to invest in it. And I think there's a part of women that likes the satisfaction of knowing that, okay, he put in some effort. Even if it's taking me, I'm not saying that you settling that all you need is a Happy Meal to drop them drawers. But I'm saying that men know there's some type of investment. You paying for it either way it goes.
Either way.
I don't care if that's a ride. I don't care if that's a night out dinner. Yeah.
A ride?
You paying for it. You not getting it without investing something, even if it's time. And no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just adding to what you were saying. And so I feel like that,
Frank.
I'm just saying.
Them rides gonna add up. When you can't pay that
we
gas.
paying for it at some point, and y'all want the satisfaction of knowing that he worked for it.
So I have a follow-up question now. Because I think at this point in our lives, I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but it's harder for men to actually ask you out on a date.
Wow.
But Marvin and Marvin, Frank, and McLovin, I think you all are just a little bit different. I think y'all are different because I hear about y'all's date stories all the time. But when do you...
Okay, keep going.
When do you all think a woman is fitting for a proper date? A proper date.
So
not
what's your
just
definition
drinks.
of a proper date?
Okay, so a lot of men, I feel a lot of men ask you out on drinks just to fill you out, which is cool. We can go out for drinks, but I'm driving myself there, taking myself home, and I'm only taking 2 drinks. All right, but
dang, I should have met you a long time with 2 drinks only. Man, these motherfuckers been getting sad.
Actually, no, I take that back. I do take as many as I want, but don't think that that's your way to ease up. You know,
Oh, no.
to come home with me. But I'm asking, when do you think it's fitting for a proper date? So I'm thinking traditional. Like, tell me to dress up, put some heels on. Take me
I thought you said pussy. I was like, what?
Stop.
Tell me to dress up in a nice, take me to an elegant restaurant, do something sweet, or even do something just entertaining.
Right.
Like, I don't know, go zip lining or
damn, the first
active.
date? We gonna go on the first
Yes.
date?
Wow.
Take me skydiving.
Yes.
First date. What? No.
Something exotic.
Skydiving damn near $100.
I think guys play it off of your vibe.
Yep.
There are a lot of guys, he may ask you when you meet him, yo, how you feel about going out here and this. If he's confident in knowing that you're going to say yes, he's going to go ahead and ask you. So I feel like it's fitting. Are you asking like in terms of a
For
timeline?
a proper date. When do you think
What is a
woman,
proper
not
date?
a timeline?
What is a proper date?
What I just gave an example
Of like something exotic?
Something outside of a movie, something outside of going out for drinks.
So I feel like what it depends on the type of woman, because I can take one chick out and it's all about vibes. I can just take you to the house, or then depending on how classy you are,
But-
then
Would you try hard? Would you try hard if you think you got to try hard? Would you actually attempt?
Yeah,
That's good.
that's the best. Oh my.
Wow. Come on.
Okay. All right. I got one more question
Yeah,
to
man.
ask. Oh, you as well, definitely. Can women ask men out on dates?
Yes. Yes.
Man, I wish
Yes.
women so.
Yes.
Mary Jane,
Women
you
do it
didn't even want to
2019.
talk to the deli man, okay? Yep,
Wow.
I said it.
Hold up. Wow.
Hold up.
You just go
Wait.
out her like that. Look, first of all.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, women do a calculation before we ask you out.
And
we
what was your
study
calculation,
you.
Mary
We
Jane?
study you first. We got to see, get the time down on pack, see what time you go to work, and so whatever you take your lunch. Then we got to see what you eat in
So
case
y'all
we want to take you out to
stalking,
eat.
in other words.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
women do stalk.
A little bit. You can't just ask somebody out without
He might
knowing.
got a girlfriend.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you gotta ask. Oh, so we supposed to stalk y'all and find out if you got a dude or not?
No,
No.
y'all just supposed to step up.
Just a little bit.
So have you two?
I have taken a man out on a date.
I mean, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
which
that
is more
ain't no
common?
first
Him
date.
taking you out or him? No, not take. No, you said ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same thing, right?
No, taking somebody on a date is like somebody you already know. Whereas asking somebody out, is completely different.
You know what? Now that
No.
you guys are like stepping me, I think that's a challenge that I'm willing to take.
You gonna ask somebody out? Ask the deli man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know
I have
the Muffin
several
Man?
times. I have several times. Several times.
Really?
To teach
Yes.
me some.
OPP is just a different type.
She
of
she just like on Norva. What you say? You got a girlfriend? No. Well, you do now.
All right.
I'm a little more smooth with that.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to Living Single. Be on the lookout for the question that we're going to ask you all on Instagram, but it probably will get to you before you all hear this message today. But really quickly, before we step into our conversational piece, I just want to remind you all about Millennial Wednesdays, which is the day that we would like to showcase you. If you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you have an organization, hit us up on our Instagram account, email us so that we can put your face out there, spread the news, and just promote you.
Right.
Right.
So Millennial Wednesdays, you can always catch it on our story, on our page, Facebook. And if you need the handles to those, once again, Facebook, just search Dear Millennials. Instagram at Dear Millennials _ or you can email us, dearmillennialspodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure you also shout us out since we trying to help y'all out too.
Right.
Yes, please.
That would be fitting. And speaking of that, make sure y'all get a t-shirt, Dear Millennials t-shirt.
Yes.
Check out the page to see what they look like. They're really dope. Just hit up our Instagram, Linktree, link, and place your order. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, episode 7.
Yes.
All right. Once again, thank you for tuning in
Yes.
to Dear Millennials, a Lit Ass Podcast, episode 7 today, which is entitled Sex in the City. And I just want to say one thing about this. One thing we've reached out, and Mary Jane was very adamant about doing this, is reaching out to our listeners and asking, what conversations would you all like to have? What would you all like us to talk about? What would you like to respond to? And so today was inspired by shout out to my boy JC Griggs, one of my big brothers, one of my mentors, who suggested that we talk about gender roles. All right. So episode 7, let's talk sex in the city. All right. So what roles does gender play in the 21st century? Have we truly evolved from what's quote unquote traditional gender roles? All right. Let's kick it off. I think there's a lot of conversation in terms of like where we stand in 2019. All right. So would you all agree that there are still gender roles in the 21st century, considering the feminist movement or there being a push for gender equity and all of these just different movements and different ideas that we're really being exposed to in 2019?
For me, I think it just depends. Like the setting and tone, like workplace versus house. So I don't think it should be a gender roles in the workplace at all. I don't think so. I feel like a woman can do just as a man can. We should receive the same pay. We should have same platform and fairness in that realm.
So you mean it's okay to have gender roles at home, but it ain't okay when you go outside the doors of the house. So you can be the caregiver at home, but when you go out, you businesswoman OPP.
Yes. You already know.
Yeah, I want to agree with like I grew up just dreaming about when I can be that servant type of wife, doing the laundry, cooking, cleaning the kitchen, taking care of my kids. And I think that that's an honor for a lot of women to be able to do that.
Right.
But when I step out in the workforce, I need you to treat me with the same power as a man could have for whatever role that you're in.
Exactly.
Now, do those roles still exist here in the 21st century? All right, is it, because what you all are speaking to is what I would identify as traditional gender roles, so specifically for the woman, to be in the house, right? To be caring for the kids, to be preparing the meals, to be dealing with everything, dealing with the upkeep of the house. All right, so here we are in the 21st century. I personally don't feel like that's something that is as common because, especially with minorities, we aren't fortunate enough to have for a man to just work one job or just be the primary breadwinner in a lot of our communities or in a lot of our families. So, yeah, my question is, in the 21st century, is that our reality?
I think that it has to be. I think that there's no other option because of how we are economically right now.
Right.
Wait, so okay. So are you saying like a woman being if that is in that household,
I see nothing wrong with it because where we are placed with our financial situation.
Exactly. You can't help that it takes two people to take care of one household financially now. Mm-hmm. Like last week when I talked to you, mentioned the wealth gap for African American and minorities, specifically almost going to zero by 2053. So you have to have a happy medium balance. You cannot just expect, that old happy day where the man just works and bring home the bread and breadwinner. You can't afford that now.
So what is the role of the man and the woman in the 21st century? Because that's what I'm saying. My question is that a common role for a woman to maintain? So are you saying she's balancing that and work?
Yes, you have to.
Okay.
You're going to have to balance work life and family life. It's work-life balance.
Is that just the woman?
I think it depends on the family in the household.
It does.
So we have, and it's crazy because we have gender equality, then we talk about gender roles. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that's some type of like contradiction because now I want to be treated just like anybody else. But then now I'm like, well, I think it's a man's thing to do this.
Oh, I don't think and I said that though.
Yeah, so we said play specifically. Out in the workforce, we're going to be treated equal.
What if the thing is women should just stay at home? What if the thing is you don't work and you just stay at home because that's the gender role?
Are you saying that's what it should be?
No, we're comparing 21st century versus traditional. Have we moved away from the woman being in the household doing as her primary job?
Well, I think O just said that like with where we are, we have to have a two-parent household that are both working.
Exactly.
Well, I also feel
it just kind of changed naturally.
It changes naturally.
But then we also have those people who are like, well, because y'all say when you're in the house, then I'll do all the gender roles or all the things that I feel like a woman should do, cook, clean, this and that. But we also have people who be like, if I work a full-time job, I'm not coming home and cook for my man all the time.
Yeah, those are women who probably weren't raised by, I don't know, because I grew up knowing, like, once I become a wife and a mother, I am taking care of my family. That's my family. I'm holding down that house.
Right.
And I'm holding it down when I step into my job, too.
So can a man hold it down, too?
Yeah, you can hold it down.
So if we're fighting for gender equity, right, and we're talking about equality, why should that be your role?
Right.
If both of you are working.
Right.
If both of you are working full time, there's a family, whatever. Why is that still
because I
what's
want
expected?
it that way.
Exactly, because she wanted that way.
That's how I want my house to run.
We're deciding that we want it that way. Now, if another lady comes up and says she does not want it that way, then that's her business. We decide on what we want.
So you are okay with coming home every day after a long day. We met before here. I know the type of day you all had, right? Imagine you having a family. Your husband comes in, he kick his feet up.
Ain't doing shit.
Ain't did a goddamn thing. You are okay with being the sole person responsible for taking care of everything in the house in terms of the kids, food, cleaning, whatever. After a full day's work, and your husband can assume the role of that's my wife's job.
So I would hope, okay, yeah. All right. I think that majority of the time, yeah, that's my job and I would accept it. But I hope that I would marry a man who sees when I need help.
Right.
And he sees, okay, my wife is struggling. Let me get the kids in the tub. Let me get them dressed. Let me get their clothes out for school. You know, I would hope that he sees when I am like weak and struggling and I'm slipping, and he knows when to step in and when to help and when to be the backbone to for me to continue to push. But yeah, majority of the time, that's my job and I will accept it and I will take it. Just identify when I need the help.
Just from my own personal experience, I have seen a woman do that. So anybody that knows me personally, I operated and had my own daycare service, and also I was a nanny for a while. So this
nanny.
This particular woman was a badass. Like, Marvin, you know who she is already. She was a badass.
You can't say her name?
Exactly. I ain't going to say her name, but she was a badass. I'm not going to say her name. No, I'm not. No. But she was a badass. And when I tell you she still came home and took care of everything, it was taken care of. Like, I was shocked. I was taken back because that's not her persona at all. Like, on the basis where I met her, she was a badass. And I was just like, oh, yes, I'm going to work for this woman because I'm going to model myself after being a badass. And then after working for her personally, side by side, seeing that, I was like, oh, wow, okay. You're a badass, when you're out here in the world, but when you're at home, you're at home. You see what I'm saying? And her husband was a great husband, still the man of the house. But when Mary Jane said, he took care of when he saw that she was weak or when she needed some help. She didn't have to say anything. You see what I'm saying? She didn't have to say anything. She wouldn't have to say, yo, babe, I need this. He stepped up to it. So primarily, she was still the woman of the house, and there were still gender roles. However, they worked that out.
And vice versa with a man, how we have this stereotype that a man is supposed to be the financial provider. All right. When my man is going through whatever obstacle he's going through, I'm sure a man would want the woman to be able to step up financially when he needs things to be taken care of.
Right.
As a man, I'm not asking.
Me neither.
I can't.
You don't have to ask.
But how would you know? But how would you know?
We gonna suck it up and we gonna deal with it.
We're gonna look at the books together.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to know. Don't look at the books together.
I know. I'm going to know, okay, something is going on with your finances right now. I need to step in. I thought that's what marriage was about.
Teamwork.
I understand.
I agree. And I think that speaks to our own bias and belief in this societal gender role, right? Where society says as the man, you're supposed to take care of your family. And I think that's still prevalent even in the 21st century.
But it's not like you're not taking care of a woman. Just steps up for a short period of time.
Exactly.
It's hard. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that's hard. As a man, it's extremely hard. It's ego, it's pride, it's we struggle. I think any man simply struggles with just asking for help. Period.
Yeah, pride.
And so I don't think it's anything against the woman, right? It's just that's I think how I wouldn't say we're born, it's innate, but that's kind of how we're conditioned to believe that, that's how we should operate throughout life. But I do want to ask, though, and I don't mean to keep going back, and I want a decisive answer. Now, it depends. Do you believe that in the 21st century, a working woman should still be the primary caretaker of the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because things will get done.
Some women do not have that mindset, though. I can say that some women don't even know how to cook when they're living on their own. Some women don't know how to clean up spotless while they're living on their own.
I mean, them not knowing how to do it, or them knowing how to do it.
Some women don't do laundry. All right,
I hate that.
We have a lot of women right now in our generation who just don't do that role, and I'd like to see how they flourish as wife and mothers.
Interesting.
For me,
maybe everybody who's a woman don't want to be a wife and mother, though. Have you ever thought about that?
No,
that's fine, but you still have to take care of yourself. You see what I'm saying? You still have to cook. You still have to clean. You still have to.
I don't have to cook if I'm making money.
Oh, who's going to do it for you?
I'm just saying. If
you're going to eat at a restaurant every day, that's so unhealthy. I'm just saying.
And not financially responsible.
Thank you. Unhealthy and financially irresponsible. So who's going to wash your clothes? Who's going to clean up your home? Unless you have all this excessive money in the world and you have money for additional help, I advise you to know how to do those things in yourself. So when I was growing up, my mother taught me these things to ensure that I knew how to take care of myself. So these are my responsibilities, right?
I feel that. And okay, so let me ask you this, right? I was at work. This actually happened today, right? The lounge was a mess. All right, and somebody who was a mother in the workplace assumed the position of or a role of cleaning up. Though she did not make the mess. So, is that also the same? Should that role also be assumed in the workplace? So, I guess I'm asking, like, what about women in the workplace? In terms of what does that look like? What is that gender role?
Are you talking about leadership or?
I mean, just in general, what does that look like?
I mean, it depends on what type of work you're doing. Like, I've had some interesting workspaces, as I mentioned before, where I have had the luxury of working with 2 organizations that was just women strictly. Mm-hmm. Of course, we didn't have to tell each other to clean up after ourselves. Mm-hmm. We did it automatically if you were, you used that space. You see what I'm saying? Too. So if you don't have to tell a woman to, you see the mess, you clean it up, and you continue to go on. I didn't think that was falling into gender roles. You use this space. Whoever left that mess was trifling. I'm pretty sure she probably called him trifling under her breath. And him or whoever did it. And she cleaned it up and didn't think too much about it and went on. Because she does it on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. When you do things ritually like that, I don't think you put too much thought into it. You just do it and keep going.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because, I mean, as we were in the workplace, I thought, why is it that a woman decided that, and maybe she was just tired of it. She was just being a good citizen. Maybe it has nothing to do with her gender. But yeah, it just kind of made me think about gender equity within the workplace.
But also talking about the workplace, how do y'all feel about like the stigmas that are pushed on women who, I guess, being called too strict in the workplace? Like if you are like a supervisor, stuff like that, they're like, well, I don't like this woman because she's strict. It's always like women not getting along with other women in the workplace because they feel like, they have something to prove. Or like women cops, like a lot of people will say that women cops go overboard because they're women, you know what I'm saying? So what's your take on that?
I can definitely say women in leadership roles have it harder than men. Mm-hmm. I've witnessed it. I cannot tell you why, but women in leadership position have it way harder than men do. I feel like sometimes if it's not especially good enough as for other women, they are not supportive of that woman in that leadership position and role or do not, understand the magnitude and the weight that woman is going through.
Even in 2019.
Even in 2019.
I can say throughout all of my working experience, starting with the time that I have met you.
Yes.
Every supervisor that I have had has been a woman.
Yes.
So is it that much harder?
It is that much harder. And Marvin, since we've met, have you not seen and witnessed the ridicule that those women go through?
Is it because...
Be honest, you have.
But is it because they were a woman?
Now, okay, so this is the most weirdest thing ever. Like, for me, it's 50-50. When I work for women that are in leadership roles, she receives all the ridicule and flack. Now, the last place of employment that I just had was a male in leadership. He didn't go through half the foolishness that my previous boss went through. And he was so much more laxy-daisy, was not on top of his stuff at all. And he received no flack about it. No one said anything. They just ha and kikied and caca and carried themselves. I'm
Kiki
serious.
and Kaka.
Yes.
This kind of reminds me
Yes,
of,
it's
I'm not
crazy.
sure if you guys
It's
ever
like
done
ridiculous.
This, but growing up as kids, sometimes who do you behave faster?
Pops.
Yep, mom or dad. Dad got that tone.
You ain't gonna-
Dad don't even got to do much.
No.
Dad don't got to do much but look at you.
Yeah.
Mama, she got to go out of her way.
Exactly.
to get you to
Yelling
straighten up.
and
Get that switch.
screaming and
Get that
going
goddamn
and
switch.
right.
And that also goes into education too.
That's what I say. Education too.
Male teachers don't get
No respect.
we don't. We are treated horribly.
Terrible.
That's a damn
Because
lie.
no, they mad at all they daddies who fucking left.
No, okay, hold up. I'm going to bring you all the experience from being a former
Jeez.
female teacher.
Marvin?
I would look across the hall, and my male colleagues, my black male colleagues, would get a lot of the respect from the children easier than it would be for me to be able to get that respect out of them. It just came natural for those for my kids to listen to the male teachers.
And and also like me being an educator, my students always be like, she be doing too much.
But you
let me go to Miss. No, I don't though. And
but you don't have. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to do too much.
I don't think anybody has
No,
to.
I think what
Whatever.
was very difficult.
I disagree.
And yeah, I was just playing about their days leave, but no, I really do. I mean, it's no secret, especially in minority and urban communities, right? Oftentimes, you have many young people who are victims of sexual abuse, whether it be from a man or they witness their that father figure or a man, being on the one, whatever. So, I mean, it's trauma. It's a reason for that trauma, but I just feel like it's extremely exhausting for male educators, right? Coaches, I think, get it easy because it's sports. But it's like, if we don't yell, right, if we don't go off, they're not going to comply. And when we do that, it's so exhausting.
Do you think women don't have to go through that?
I think women naturally have a very nurturing spirit.
Yeah, so y'all
Are
have,
you
y'all
serious?
pay- y'all
I think
pay
kids,
so
kids
No,
are
no,
on and
sir.
off with us. They want our love, yeah. But that don't mean they ain't gonna talk back to you. It doesn't mean they're not going to disrespect
Is
you.
it as exhausting though?
Yes!
No, I definitely.
How you gonna tell me as a woman that it's not exhausted?
Like
Hold up. Okay?
First of all,
you're
what you
not
back
gonna
up to?
tell me, a woman, how
what I'm
I
saying?
feel.
I didn't
fussing
say
already.
it
All
was.
All right, can I get a fact check? You're not.
And those are the facts.
Thank
Looking
you.
at look, I didn't say it's not exhausting. I said, is it as exhausting?
I said that.
And speaking to the number of the decreasing number of black male, the very low numbers of black male educators
They had a
or
record.
male educators. Well, let me speak. I know about black male educators, so I don't know that as a statistic. So most teachers you probably have been women. Am I right?
Yes.
Well,
How
no.
many black male educators have you had in secondary school? So not in college, but prior to high school. Have any of you even had one? I didn't have one.
I've had two.
Well, I was homeschooled.
Okay.
So no, in other words.
No.
So
I was
I don't
homeschooled.
know. I'm not saying it's not exhausting.
I went to a
but-
predominantly white high school. In middle school, I think I had about one. In high school, I think our assistant principal or like the dean was black, and that's it that I can recall. But I went to predominantly white high school, so.
So something else I got, and how do we feel about like gender roles in relationships? Do you think that the man should always take you out?
No, I think and I just said that.
Right. We just said no.
I'm taking guys out on dates.
Okay, well,
I love
several
doing
times.
that. Let me
Can you
let
pay
me
for my
shower
ticket?
you.
Quote on it.
Let me see your bank account. Let me see your bank
You don't gotta-
transactions.
First
Quote
of all,
on
I
it.
don't have a man. Okay.
So in other words, no.
So what you mean I ain't told me?
My boyfriends, though, you can ask my boyfriends,
Look.
my ex-boyfriends.
Mary Jane gonna get a lot of DMs today. Oh, so I ain't your man now. Okay. So now for real, like
You know what? That reminds me of something. Gender roles in a relationship. There's a post on Facebook. It was and we actually posted this on our Instagram, right? A man proposing to a woman. I'm sorry, a woman proposing to a man. right? We talk about gender roles in relationships. Ladies, let's be real. Mary Jane, yes or no? Are you
Hell no.
OPP?
Why not?
Are you?
Yes.
Hold on.
I
You
got proposed
Hold
to
on. No, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about my mom and dad. My mom proposed to my father, so I'm iffy
Good
about
for
it.
your
He's
mama.
such a
My
pimp.
mom.
I wanna be like him.
No. So
Your daddy pimping. I need to be like
my
him.
mom proposed to my father.
He got it like
Interesting.
Right. And I
She
was
got
like,
on one knee?
No, she didn't get on one knee. So they
Okay.
were at a restaurant.
No, she got to get on one knee.
Oh,
Nah,
she-
that's
no.
still a proposal.
It's still a proposal.
But I'm saying,
so the way she did it was slick.
You got to
and
do
she-
it
and
all the way. She had the ring too?
It was slick type stuff
Did she
that
have
I
a
would
ring?
do. So she did
Wait,
this.
did
They
she
went
have
to a
a ring?
restaurant. Yes, she had a ring.
Okay.
They went to a restaurant and they were just sitting across each other, and my dad wasn't thinking too much of it. And she was just like, you know what? How would you feel if we got married? And my dad was like, yo, it'd be cool. And she said, bam! That ring out.
Okay.
Set his ass
Okay,
up.
G.
He didn't know that.
But I ain't doing that shit.
He didn't want to turn back.
So, I don't know.
I'm
I mean,
saying-
I think I
I
would
need
do
my
something like
man
that. I would do
on
something
one
like
knee.
that.
All right.
I would
When
do
I walk
something
down
like
the
that.
aisle, I need his ass crying. Okay. Because I'm going to be crying boo-hooing too.
Well, I
If
don't
you ain't
know.
crying, I'm turning around.
As Mary Jane said earlier to me and McLovin, you all are very two special women. But I think it's interesting because one thing I thought was really interesting on the Facebook post, I argued that, if we're living in a gender equity society, right, where we're fighting for gender equity, and there were so many people in uproar like, a man is supposed to do this. But I just feel like that was totally contradictory if, we're trying to combat these roles that genders should have.
I think it's all in choice.
It's just crazy.
It is. It's
'Cause
in choice.
Y'all can't be picking and choosing out here, man.
I'm going to pick and choose.
Either we gonna treat y'all ass like everyone else, or y'all gonna have these goddamn gender roles.
So now you're saying no. So you cannot mix oranges with apples.
Why not?
You
'Cause
can't do
them-
that.
them motherfuckers still gonna get eaten.
No. So like we stated previously, when we're in the workforce, yes, equal.
Both of them gonna get juiced. Oranges and apples.
Whatever.
So real quick, all right, and we'll post this on the post too. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Do we need gender roles? Everybody, yes or no? I say, I don't know what I say. Go ahead, McLovin.
Why you gonna make me go first?
Do we need gender roles?
Hate mail. Yeah, I'm a firm believer of gender roles throughout my walk of life. So in the house and outside the house.
I believe in fair gender roles. Yes.
Fair gender roles.
Does that make sense?
No,
I like it.
You know what I mean?
fair gender roles.
Okay.
Continue. My bad.
I say sure, depending on if they're equal and fair, like what Marvin is saying. Sorry, I need to speak the mic.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes with fair gender roles. Fair.
All right, y'all.
Gotcha.
And
So I think I know we got to wrap it up. I just feel like saying yes and then having stipulations to that yes is so weird.
we're only human, baby.
So in other words, I was the only one with a straight direct answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
Great.
I'm
Yeah.
a Pisces. We're indecisive. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to episode 7, Sex in the City. Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. Before we go, we do have words of affirmation from our very own Miss OPP.
Dear millennials, don't be afraid to start over. I know starting over can be fearful, tormenting, and simply scary, but you have to. You must go after your dreams that haunt you at night. You must go after that job that you so desperately want, and you must live the life that your hearts desire. Don't settle because it allows you to be safe and secure. It provides you a level of comfort and stability. So go ahead and get ready to be uncomfortable. Get ready to question the decision you made and be ready to receive rejection and criticism. And most importantly, get rid of that plan B and take the first step. Because the first step towards your dreams is going to be the best step towards a happy ending. You have the power to get up and leave. You can change your future, and you can start over and begin something new. Stay focused, stay persistent, and never quit. I'm going to leave you with a quote and a Bible verse. So the quote is by me, of course. You don't have to be successful to start, and you just have to start to be successful. And the Bible verse that I'm going to leave you with is Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Most High is with you wherever you go. That's all I have for you guys, Millennial.
Thank you, OPP. Y'all, thank you again for tuning in. Dear Millennials, a lit-ass podcast.
The doors of our Father's house is open.
You said the doors. Yo, I'm Marvin Frank, singer-songwriter, educator, student to the game, homie, lover, friend, mom, I love you, daddy, I love you, Cam, I love you, Courtney Leah, I love you, Mackenzie, Dakota, I love you, Wuda, her mama, I love you too. That's my goddaughter, y'all.
Happy. You know, once again, it's your boy, McLovin. Got these chick straight out the oven. Educated, motivated, dark skin, drinking hand. Teacher, preacher, got you dying, laughing, calling me the Grim Reaper. Dale Jr., I love you. Daddy, miss you. Although I just dropped you off. Shout out to my mama. I'm always shout you out because you made me who I am. Nadine Little. Shout out to my twin brother and all other 6 of my siblings. I love y'all all. South Memphis, you know. LMG till I die.
Mary Jane, Georgia Rays, Memphis paid book club creator, the woman storyteller, and your favorite around the girl and mama and daddy. Always loving y'all. Albany State University, I love y'all. We just released our homecoming. We about to defeat Lane College October 12th.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. Of course.
Road trip.
Of course, you know, it's your girl OPP, a.k.a. South Memphis Queen, also known as the Memphis Finest. Of course, I want to shout out Ashton Shepherd. Thank you for always listening, reposting, and ensuring that you retweet us. And Ariel, you already know that I got you, bro. And especially my sisters, thank you guys for being avid listeners and watchers.
Yo, shout out to our very loyal listeners. I just want to shout out Vic, Janae, Kitchen. What's up? Love you. Stefan, one of my former students. My boy Bryson Wilson, who is the soundbite friend. Those are the facts.
I want to shout out Kiasha, Mario. Thank you all so much for tuning in, playing us in the barbershop. We appreciate you all so much.
And Will.
Thank you.
Man,
and Will.
Thank you.
I want to shout out one of my best friends, Misha. Also, my girl Sauce, Saucia Williams, man. I know you always come and dripping with the sauce, man. Thank you for being avid listeners.
All right, y'all. Episode 7. Dear Millennials, a lit-ass podcast, Sex in the City. Make sure you follow us on all our Facebook handles. If you don't remember them, just go scroll to the beginning of the show. All right, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a lit-ass week!
Yeah! Hey, get it. Bottles on me, man. Bottles on me. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Aquafina?
For real?
Just kidding.
And just Kool-Aid.
It's Lent season. We ain't drinking.
The preceding is an OM production. For more information, go to theoamnetwork.com.